Good evening. I welcome all of you to the 27th lecture of ASC webinar series of IIT Gandhinagar. As many of you might be knowing, we organize talks on the last Saturday of every month and on various topics of archaeology. And we have been covering various aspects of archaeology from different parts of India also. So today we have with us Dr. S.P. Rajesh from Kerala University, and I request Onkha to briefly introduce the speaker.
Good afternoon, everyone. So first, I would like to thank Professor Rajesh for his time today for delivering such an interesting talk. And before he begins, I'd like to introduce him. So Professor Rajesh is an assistant professor in the Department of Archaeology, University of Kerala. He received his doctoral degree from the Maharaja Sayajirao Rao University of Baroda, Gujarat, from which his topic of his PhD was a comprehensive study of regional Chalcolithic cultures of Gujarat. His field of research interests include Indus civilization, field archaeology, artifact analysis, ancient technology, thanatology, origin and development of urbanism in South Asia, and Megalithic Iron Age archaeology. He is serving as the co-editor of the journal Heritage, Journal of Multidisciplinary Studies in Archaeology, and he has published more than 85 research articles in journals and edited books and co-edited 4 books. He has participated in several excavations and explorations in India and abroad, and he is currently directing a multidisciplinary archaeological research project entitled Archaeological Excavations at Juna Khatiya and Explorations in Gujarat. With this introduction, I request Professor Rajesh to please deliver the talk. Thank you.
Thank you, Unka. So now I will directly go to my presentation. So title of my presentation is Pre-Urban Harappan Burials in Gujarat, New Evidence from Juna Khatiya. Actually, before starting this presentation, first of all, I am thankful to the Archaeological Science Center IIT Gandhinagar and its staff, means Dr. V.N. Prabhagar, Dr. Sharda, Dr. Michelle Danno, Dr. Alokumar Kanungo. And also this work actually means this is though my name is there in the presentation, actually it is a joint work by me, my collaborators like Dr. Abhayan, Ponho, Francis, Subhash, and many people. And for this work, I was supported by students from University of Kerala, MS University of Baroda, and Kutch University also. Also, I have funding from University of Kerala. For this work. I am also thankful to Archaeological Survey of India and Gujarat State Archaeology Department for giving this permission. So you all know that Indus civilization spread to over 1 million square kilometer, and it covered many regions, and Gujarat actually falling into the southern region of the Indus civilization. And the archaeological researchers in Gujarat, starting from 1930s, resulted in the discovery of around 800 Harappan sites. This Harappan means it includes regional Chalcolithic cultures and also the different phases of Harappan. That's a pre-urban to post-urban Harappan phases. And these cultures or traditions include Anartha's tradition. Actually, majority of the traditions were identified based on ceramics, and they include Anartha, Padri ware, black and etc., and to Jor ware. And till date, around 30 sites of pre-urban Harappan sin-type ceramics were found, and around 9 pre-urban Harappan settlements were excavated. And in these pre-urban Harappan settlements, burial actually they were majority of them had burials. And the first site which revealed evidences of pre-urban Harappan ceramics from cemetery context is Surkottada, and the site was excavated in between 1970 during 1970-72 by Dr. J.P. Joshi, and the report was published in 1990. In the report, he has given the drawings of the pottery he recovered from the burials, and this pottery clearly shows the similarities to ceramics from Amri, Null regions. And also recently in 2016, when the University of Kerala was surveying in the region around Sanwa, we actually come across a skeleton. Actually, it is near the boundary. Actually, it was not within the protected area, outside the boundary of the site. So, and actually we informed the then director of excavation at Vadodara Circle, and he asked us to take the remove the burials, and that burial was associated with, actually it was a human burial associated with 6 vessels, and they were mainly actually black and red vessels. And this spot was this spot is totally different from any of the pre-urban Harappan burial plot reported from any part of or anywhere in South Asia. And we dated one of the sheds, and that goes to 3350 BC. That is exactly falling into the pre-urban Harappan phase. And this is actually again at Surkotada. These pre-urban Harappan burials were mainly came from pits, and these pits were covered by stone slabs. And another site is Nagwada. Nagwada is located in North Gujarat region, and it was in Surendranagar district. It was excavated by MS University of Baroda in between 1985 to 1989. The excavation revealed 5 burials, and in that 2 were extended inhumation burials, and there were symbolic pot burials were also. These pot burials were also showed similarities to the ceramics from Amri, Null region. Then another important site which revealed pre-urban Harappan burials were Loteshwar. There are actually 2 burials, 3 actually burials. In the 1990 excavations, 2 burials got. One is actually Mesolithic, and another one is a Chalcolithic burial. This Chalcolithic burial below is totally different of the pre-urban Harappan kind of burials, because they were unassociated with any kind of burial goods, and no pre-urban Harappan type ceramics were reported from the site Loteshwar. When our team were surveying Loteshwar in 2016, the site was actually, they have done a lot of agricultural activities there, and a few skeletons were exposed. Actually, 2 parts of 2 skeletons were exposed, and they were associated with some shell beads, and they were around 200 corner shell beads and 9 Bendelium beads were found along with the skeletal remains. Then Chandali is an important site excavated by MS University of Baroda in 1993, and this site revealed 2 burials, and one was a single burial of a child, and another one is a double burial. And the double burial was, and both the burials were associated with the pre-urban Harappan burial plot. Then Madutra was excavated in 1994 by Abhijit Majumdar of MS University of Baroda. And this site, actually, there were only 20 centimeter cultural deposit, and within that also 1 human teeth was found associated with some pre-urban Harappan burial vessels. Then Ranod was excavated by MS University of Baroda along with a Spanish team and under the Noga project. And in this excavation, 1 pre-urban Harappan type burial, actually it was found associated with the type pottery, and a 8-year-old child's burial was reported from the site. And Thaneti is located in Bhuj, near to Bhuj, almost 25 kilometers away from Bhuj, and this the mound is known as Rosi Madano Timbo, and this site was surveyed in 2016 and 17 by MS University of Baroda, and subsequently in 2 years the site was excavated under Dr. P. Ajit Prasad, and the site has around 43 burials at the site, and in that only I think 16 or 17 burials were excavated. And in this site, many of the burials there were huge pits, in that sometimes 59 to 61 vessels were kept inside, and also they used stone slabs to cover these burials. Now I will come to the site Juna Khatiya. Juna Khatiya is located in Lakpa Taluka. And this site was actually accidentally discovered in 2016. Our team was exploring in the Lakpat region, and the Sarpanch of the village actually showed us the site. And means earlier we were thinking that there were a lot of structures of pre-urban Harappan period, and many vessels were actually exposed due to the agricultural activities and also due to the digging of a canal. And then when we got these were the vessels actually we collected during the exploration in 2016. And then in the reserve slip was there, then there were a lot of vessels very similar to the pre-urban Harappan sin type, mainly got from Amri, Nal region were there, and we were very much interested in the site. And then we got the permission from Archaeological Survey of India, and the site got excavated in 2019, 2020, and 2022. In that the site we excavated, we followed all kinds of possible scientific techniques, including map preparations, etc. And here you can see the contour map of the site, and also the DM of the site. Here in this site, actually, we excavated 4 locations. In 2019, we excavated 2 locations: locality first and locality second. And in 2020, we excavated a locality 3 that is marked in red color. And in 2022, we excavated locality 4 that is marked in green color. And locality 1 and 2 are very near to this green color. And these were actually some of the photographs of various stages of the excavation. The excavation included cleaning of the site, training the students. Also, we followed all possible documentation methods at the site. And we were also able to lift one of the burials from the site. Now, this is the locality 1. Actually means the site is almost 16 hectares in size, and we expect around 500 plus burials at the site. And here in the locality 1, we dug 25 trenches of 5 by 5 meter. Actually, it is mainly horizontal kind of excavation. We were in the locality 2, we excavated around 10 trenches. In that also we got many burials. But here you can see the many of the burial structures. And here almost all the burials are in east-west orientation. Also in the locality 1, almost all are in the east-west orientation. In locality 3, we dug around 50 plus burials, and in that you can see some of the burials are in east-west orientation, some are north-south direction, and some are not in very specific north-south or a little tilted kind of thing. And in locality 4 also, we found burials in different directions. Some of them are east-west and some of them north-south direction. And while talking about them burial constructions, mainly they actually dug a pit, and then in that actually they placed the slabs. They gave more finishing towards internal surface, and the external surface they actually filled with soil. These are actually some of the this is a basic plan of these burial structures, and these burial structures were mainly made out of shale and sandstone. And another important thing I should mention is that these kind of stone burial structures were in the pre-urban Harappan period. I think none of the sites reveal such kind of burial structures. And here, and now I will talk about some of the burial structures and their how they are different from variations of those kind of structures. Here, one of the structure is there. So it has around 5 meter to 20 centimeter length, and they're about 2 meter 40 centimeter, 2 meter 20 centimeter width. Within that means actually when we dug, when we just removed the platform kind of stones, we almost went down up to 80 centimeter, and there were nothing inside this burial. And here means both sides had only 40 to 50 centimeter thickness of the walls. And this is another kind of burial structure. It had a length of around 2.22 meter length. And here you can see it has stone pavement. And over this the stone pavement, they have been placed burials and burial. And majority of the burials were actually human skeletons were in dilapidated condition due to the acidic nature of the soil. Majority of the skeletons were destroyed. Only few teeth and a few long bones were surveyed, and some part of the skeletons, the skulls. And here you can see another kind of burial. It has around 1.8 meter length, and it is also of the first kind. And here you can see that we went almost up to 80 to 90 centimeters. There are some human bones we got. Another burial here is similar like the earlier one, but here what they have done is in the pit they've used another kind of soil to fill, and over that they kept the human skeleton and the pots. The human skeleton, actually always the vessels were found near the leg portion, and from the other portion we got some teeth. Then this is another burial. Here in this case, this burial was highly in disturbed condition, and there are around 19 vessels we got from this burial. And here vessels were found. Vessels found all over the burials. Normally, the burials vessels were found towards leg portion. And another burial, right? And here we found a oval kind of stone structure. Then when we removed that thing, then it was almost like a square kind of structure. Then when we removed that thing, we found some stone slabs. And when we removed that stones, a very narrow structure we found. In that the stones were just vertically placed. So some of them were vertically just placed, and it was very narrow, probably meant for a child. We are not very sure how they made such a narrow burial. And another interesting burials, there were huge long burials. Actually, one of these burial has a length of 6.9 meters, and it has a width of 2.4 meter, and its wall had 80 centimeter width, and majority of this burial was highly destroyed. And here means you can see means majority of these burials are gone, and within that burial we got some animal remains, some potsherds, and a few human teeth. Then other burials. Here you can see there is this actually this burial is from locality 2. It has a length of 2.24 meter and 1.8 meter width, and the inner length was around 1.84 cm and 1.84 meter, and the width of the walls, inner width was around 90 centimeter. Here, this was made out of very small stone slabs. This kind of burial, this burial was made out of stone slabs, small stone slabs. Another burial here means we found some oval kind of structure. When we removed that stone slab, small stone slab, we found a big sandstone slab, and below the big sandstone slab, we found many pre-urban Harappan burial vessels. Again, another one here, big boulders were used for the construction of the burial, and within the burial, a large number of Harappan vases and pots, dishons, and etc. Then, one of the burials was without any structure around that thing, and that was compared to that was the only burial preserved. That is the most well preserved burial from the site, and that burial, that skeleton is lifted from the site, and it is now kept in the Archaeological Museum of Department of Archaeology, and it has a size of around approximately a size of around 5.5 feet, and it is of a adult human, and probably of the age range of 35 to 40, and it is a male skeleton. Then another burial we got from a pit. Here you can see the burials. Many of the bones are crouched position, and here you can see, and majority of the bones are also gone. And here it was associated with some burial. Another burial you can see here, some rectangular stone structure was there. When we removed that thing, we found a approximate pit mark, and then we found there were stones were actually they kept like that. like this one, and then it was also associated with many vessels. When we removed the stones, it was found like many pre-urban Harappan vessels were kept in this. There were no human skeleton was found associated. Here another burial. This has a size of around 2.35 meter length and a width of 140 centimeter, 160 centimeter, and within that we found actually there were around 11 vessels, and also in the some bones of the human skeleton was preserved, and in the left hand of the human had 16 vessels, and the right hand had 16 shell bangles, and the right hand had around 3 shell bangles. And this is another kind of burial. Here you can see the stone slabs are just kept vertically, and this kind of burials were noticed at Dholavira also. Dholavira we can see. Dholavira, there were these kind of burials. And another kind of burial in this, actually they used to keep huge stones in slanting position, or means they kept big sandstone slabs in or the pit, or gradually they might have broken, and below that vessels were kept, and sometimes smaller vessels were kept inside the vessels. A small burial, it has a length of around 130 centimeter and width of around 90 to 80 to 60 to 70 centimeter, and within that some human human skeletal remains and vessels were found. Then this kind of small burials, actually they were usually 90 centimeter to 130 centimeter. That was the usual size of this kind of child burials. And mainly in majority of the child burials, the vessels were also small, but it was not always, it was not the case. In some cases, in the small child burials, they also kept big vessels. And sometimes these vessels were associated with small bangles also. That's why we are calling this as child burial. And here also you can see another one associated, only 2 stones slabs were kept, and associated with that there were 4 vessels. Similarly, another burial, some small stones were kept. When we removed that, below we found this dish. And this is a 2-chambered burial. In we excavated actually means 1 to 4 these kind of 2-chambered burials. In all these cases, 1 chamber had burial goods. In others, we weren't able to find any burial goods. And here you can see one that 2-chambered burial, and later they actually made a small burial here. Here you can see this portion, one portion of the earlier burial structure was used as the one side of this small burial. And this burial has a length around 6.4 meter, and in this burial you can see in one side there is a step. Provision for step was provided. Here you can see. And another kind of burial, here you can see different big stone structures. Stones were used for the construction of this burial. And in this burial, one broad shell bangle and a few human skeleton remains were. This structure is also around 4.5 to 4.8 meter length, and it is actually now is in the center portion is like skewed toward, probably due to the pressure within the soil, or maybe due to the natural calamities like earthquake or something. So actually, it is a highly dilapidated condition. And when we talk about the burial condition, here you can see the majority of these human skeletons were, or skeletal remains were, a damaged condition, and they were not in proper alignment. So why they were not in proper alignment is a big question. And they were associated with the vessels, and usually the vessels were, as I told, towards the leg portion. And another skeletal remain here you can see, but the head portion was missing. Some bones were there, and then they were associated with the vessel. And apart from this, we also got some bone remains having warping marks on charring. So it may indicate some kind of cremation at the site. But we are not very sure about the cremation activities because we are not getting these kind of bones in large quantity. We only got a few such bones from the locality one. Another interesting find from the site is a cattle burial, and here you can see a cattle burial. This burial has a length of around 5 meters, and here inner width is only 85 centimeter, and here you can see a cattle. And Dr. Aben, who was studying this material, he told that it has age estimation of approximately 2 to 2.5 years, and a lot much need to be done in this skeleton to understand its age, its sex, etc. From the side, we also got one burial that was in disturbed condition, but in this burial, we got more than 60 vessels and around 9 to 10 additional stands were there, and many pots were found from this pot, and there were around 60 plus. And this burial was in highly damaged condition, and a few human bones were also got from this. Another one you can see here also in the half portion, you can see many vessels are kept. While talking about the bangles, here you can see they use broad bangles and very thin bangles also. Sometimes in burials 19 bangles, sometimes 24 bangles, and in the case of broad bangles, 1 or 2 broad bangles there also. And here you can see in this burial also some skeletal portions are there. The skull portion is also seeing here, but 2 bangles are there, and in one bangle you can see in the inside there is a bangle is given. There is actually a big broad bangle having grooves, and another one is a thinner bangle. In another burial, one bangle was actually bangle was in fragile condition, and one human bone was in that broken part of the bangle. Here you can see. Then another interesting find was in this kind of 2-chamber burial or the L-shaped burial. In that, in one chamber, you can in the lower portion you can see there are actually 2 skulls were found in one chamber, and a few shell bangles were also found in this chamber. But here also a lot of studies need to be done in this case. Then the site, while talking about the artifacts, the site revealed a large number of bangles. Around 100 plus shell bangles were got from the site, and Professor Kenoer, who studied looked into the shell bangles from the first season's excavation, argues that many of the broad bangles, he says that they were probably made using a kind of baking rather than sewing technique. And there were a lot of shell bangles, shell beads were also found in one burial. Around 155 shell beads were got, and from another one, 120 plus shell beads were got, and these beads were also associated with a few microsteatite beads and some lapis lazuli beads, and terracotta beads were also found from the burial, and some one banded agate bead got from the site, also got from the site. Actually, it is from the site, and Professor Kenoer says that it may belong to the late Harappan phase. And while talking about the vessels, the site revealed Dishon stands of various sizes, pots, jars, etc. Then mainly bowls, beakers, vases, then cups, lids, etc. from the site. And when we look into the size, the shapes, usually earlier we used to say that all the pre-urban Harappan vessels are mainly wheel made, etc. But when we look into the vessels from this site, or even the vessels from many of the vessels from Vanity, they shows that they are mainly made by using mixed techniques, mainly hand and wheel, or slow wheel kind of make. And these vessels clearly show similarity, and a lot of reserve slipware also occurs at the site, and reserve slipware, and they are not exact glazed reserve slipware kind of thing, but they have the feel and the look almost similar like a glazed one. And other vessels usually looks like the pottery got from the sites like Nagwada, then Ranod, even from Sokotra, Dhaneti, and also from the sites like Dambudi, then Balakot, Amri, etc. Here, these are the bowls and dishes, beakers, vessels I have showed here. Then only 2 sheds from the surface had some graffiti marks. Here all you can see some Harappan script is there, but actually they are from the surface. So we can say about the, we are not very sure about the exact time of these vessels. And a few grinding stones also got from the surface. The large number of stone tools, blades and few points were got from the site. Thousands of them got, and lithic debris were also there, but not a single stone blade was found associated with the burials. So they were only found mainly in the surface portion, and majority of them are found in the locality 3 and very near to locality 2 areas. And here you can see large number of pots are there. Then one rock richet blade piece was there, and large number of waste was also found on the surface. But as I just said, there were no such blades or debris was found inside the burial. And we also dated this. Actually, there are some interesting things, and we made flotation of one of the materials from one of the pot, and in that we found some charred seeds. And Dr. Horn, who was looking at the material, at that time he told that probably they may belong to a later period, but still for confirmation we sent one of the 2 of the charred beads to Beta for dating, and the seeds actually give a date of 2009 BC. So that means only 10 or 12 years older than thing, and that might actually the bioturbation or such kind of activities might have led that seed inside the pot. And also means we dated one of the shell bangles. Actually, we tried with many of the bones, and it's very difficult to extract the collagen from the bones. So means it is impossible to date many of the bones from the site. So we tried with one of the shell bangles, and that gave a date of 4,827 BP. That means 2,827 BC. That's exactly coming into falling under the time period of the pre-urban Harappan phase. And also means one more thing is that definitely the site might be using for different time periods. So that might be one of probably they might be even using it in the urban Harappan period. So in order to understand that thing, we need exact C14 dates. So we are trying with many of the bones, and means we are trying to date the remains of various burial pits, and we send some samples to Beta already. Then now the most interesting question is that, okay, so we got the burial. Now where is the burial? Where is their habitation site? It is the same question with Dhaneti. But when we come to the urban Harappan period, normally we get the settlements, the burials are lack. Here in this case, we got the big burial ground, but where is the habitation site? Actually, we made very thorough survey in and around the area, but unfortunately, we weren't able to find any big site. But we got 3 small sites. One is Dojagat, that is almost 4 kilometers away from the site, and that site there is a site of around 16 to 60 meter size and have very beautiful stone structures of pre-urban Harappan period. And it is actually coming under the forest land, and the material remains from the site clearly falls in the urban Harappan phase. Here you can see many of the vessels, and they are, majority of them are the pre-urban Harappan phase, and we hope that we are not very sure that we will get the permission or not. If we get the permission in the coming season, we will be excavating this site to understand the habitation features, etc. And another site is almost 1.5 kilometers away from the site, and it is known as Pardabad. The site is highly disturbed. Here also we got a large number of vessels and some beads, etc. And these vessels, some of the vessels are of urban or later urban period, but there were some vessels which show similarity to the post-urban, pre-urban urban time period. And another site is discovered. This site is Lekhapar, discovered in this last season in 2022. And in this site, we got some stone structures and a large number of vessels. Vessel remains actually in that. Many of the vessels belong to different time periods. We have materials of Surat Harappan period, Surat Harappan, classical Harappan, and even pre-urban Harappan at time. So this is also an important site, but this site is also less than 100 meters by 100 meters size. So now there are many questions we need to answer, and also we also found certain interesting things. One is regarding the locations. Earlier we were thinking that different locations were very different, but when we excavate more and more, we find that okay, there are certain differences in certain burials, and but not specific to the whole site, because sometimes in when we excavated locality one, there were we were only getting small vessels, mainly getting vases and those kind of things. Not a single shell bank was found from that area, and no small bottles were found from that area. We were mainly getting cups. In the locality 2 also the same case. But when we were excavating locality 3, there we were getting big vessels, big pots, or even jars. Jars we were getting from the site. And then we were also thinking that we were also getting bottles, but there no cups were getting. So we thought, okay, this is a different location, just different feature. And when we started excavating locality 4, almost mixed kind of things we are getting. So we need to understand a lot of things regarding this kind of burials. Also for the mainly, if now I showed means 3 sites. If these 3 sites were actually, this was a burial ground of a single site, or it was a burial ground of multiple sites. That is also a question we need to answer. And another interesting means we need to answer mainly about when people, their movement, and also about their food habits, etc. So a lot of studies we have to do, and a team of archaeologists from different institutes in India, Japan, Spain, USA, etc., collaborating with us. So hopefully within 1.5 years, we can have some interesting results regarding this site. So right now I am stopping here. Thank you. Thanks a lot. So now you can ask it if you have any questions.